and then Dawn's going to let me know if everything looks okay.
Okay.
All right, so we should be streaming. These are usually about like 15, between 15 and 30-second delay on the people that are watching.
Mm-hmm. Oh, on the chat part?
Yeah. Well, yeah, and even the video they see is about 30 seconds behind what we're doing.
Oh, okay.
So when they're chatting, they're going to be coming in. That reminds me. Let me get the chat up because that's a whole different window.
Yeah.
You have to take the chat from the YouTube channel.
Okay.
But the stream.
You can just turn off comments.
Is from the thing. Well, there's no comments.
Oh.
I think it just uses this chat here.
Okay, good.
Anyway,
Oh, there are people talking.
I want to make Mommy an admin.
Yes. Admin.
So she can run roughshod over the chat room.
Oh, you need to put just Timeline Dawn. I guess it's her channel or whatever.
Oh, did I do something? Well, I
You
need
put
to.
her email.
She hasn't joined yet.
Hi, first. Hi. 2. Hi. Hi, I remember it. Okay. Hello.
Okay, let me pop this chat out. So if you go to the YouTube link.
Okay, yeah, I'm doing that now.
There's people talking.
Actually, is that on your channel?
Yeah, it's on the channel, and I just tweeted it out, and it's in our Instagram now too. So it's all over the place.
I am
Find
here.
it.
Oh, I am here.
There.
Oh, hi, Rose.
And then if you look at the hey, Rose. If you down by where your name is, where you can type a message.
Yeah, now I see where the messages are.
There's like the little 3 dot, and you can pop that out into the chat window into a separate window, so you can kind of keep it up while you're
Oh, cool.
in the hangout. That's what we're doing. Hey, cool. The artsy maniacs loved the book.
And
Rainbow Unicorns going to Comic-Con. And that's London Comic-Con you're talking about, Rainbow, right? I think I saw your comments in the London video. I think that's London MCN that Rainbow's going to be at, which will be awesome.
Hello, Alex.
Oh, hey, Alex. Good to see you, too.
Hello.
Alex says hi, Miss Robin.
Okay, now I'm freezing up a little.
Oh,
no. Yes. Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Fred Rogers. Awesome.
Not
Is that
really.
really your name, Fred Rogers? Or are you just being Fred Rogers?
Is there some Rogers in the chat?
That would be awesome if that's really your name.
Yeah.
Man, I loved Mr. Rogers.
So that was such a great show.
I love. It's funny. We were last night. We were talking about, and just for the people in the chat, just like we're gonna give everybody kind of a few minutes to get plugged in and everything before we start worrying about. Yeah, we'll worry about that later. Before we start worrying about the talking about the book yet, and then we're gonna really talk about the book this time. Like this is a book hangout, right?
Yeah.
Last time I don't think we said like one word about the book in our last.
We started trying to talk about the book.
Nobody had read it. This time it's all about the book, and that's why you're here, Miss Robin. Thank you so much.
I actually read the last book too, but I couldn't make the chat. So.
Right. Yeah, so we were talking about, through our family weirdness that we always kind of go through strange things, we started talking about Animaniacs.
Oh my gosh, it's one of my favorite shows.
I know, right? I loved it. And so we were talking about Presley needs to learn the states and capitals for her like assessment test. Yeah, right. It's Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Indianapolis, Indiana, and Columbus is the capital of Ohio, right? And there's United States, Paraguay, United States, Canada, Mexico, I don't know.
Yeah.
Jamaica, Peru. Like I used to know the words to both of them.
Yeah, it was great. Once in a while.
So Dawn had never heard of the Animaniacs.
What?
And so she's like, what, was this when we were kids or something? And I'm like, I don't know. I was whatever. And we went and looked it up. And like, we were like 20, 21, 22 when they came out. But I loved it. Like I watched it all in college, I guess, in my dorm room. I'm watching and learning the country's songs.
Awesome.
Yeah, last time I watched the stream, they weren't paying too much attention to the chat. It was really annoying.
Yeah, sorry, we got sidetracked.
Yeah.
Okay, lots of highs for Miss Robin.
Hi.
Hi. Oh, yeah. Hi, Fred Rogers. Who else is saying on here?
There's Alex again. Alex, you're in London? I didn't know you were in London. That's awesome.
Ooh,
Yeah, I've been to London several times. The rest of the family has not, so I think they're definitely going to love it. Presley's going to love it.
I can't wait to see those videos because I just want to die to go there. So
it's an awful good place.
I'd like to travel with you.
We're doing something super secret and creepy and weird. That's going to be awesome. Awesome! I can't wait.
I just did the spooky thing. I do.
Hi, Clara.
Hello, or Clara.
Or Clara. I think it's Clara. Right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Everybody's Clara now with Souffle Girl.
Yes, Souffle. I know someone named Clara, and I know 2 people named Clara, and I keep calling them Clara because of the show.
Are you all caught up on New Who, Miss Robin?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yes, up to the Christmas episode. And there's not even going to be Doctor Who all year.
No 2016 Who, right? That's craziness.
Not?
No.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Not early 2017, the season.
Over there. They just, you know, in the UK, they just take
They're like on Hawaii time somehow. They're an island, I guess.
An American obsessive television, you know.
They're on island time, just like Hawaii.
Okay.
I bet so next season is Moffat's last season.
Yeah.
And probably I'm guessing Capaldi's too.
Yeah.
I think. Wow. Yeah, I was thinking he'd hang around. I don't know.
I wouldn't swear to it certainly, but I think Capaldi's about done one more season.
Also, apparently, there's also going to be some Doctor Who spoilers. Probably there's going to be just spoilers in general for things.
I'm very curious to see what Moffat's going to do. Like knowing it's his last season and what he wants to do. This is his time to kind of go nutty and do something. I bet he does something really cool next season.
He's like the master of the creepy Doctor Who, you know, characters and monsters and that dark stuff. So. Yeah, there are probably going to be some scary ones that will give me nightmares, I'm sure.
There's no doubt. Yeah, Alex, definitely umbrellas will be a big part. I saw when I was looking at the thing, there's some big fancy umbrella store that sells like all these classic, you know, it's like an old school, like a haberdashery for umbrellas almost. The pictures look really awesome. We definitely want to go check that out. We'll be there in May. I don't think it's going to be too bad, but we'll see.
Rain.
Okay, cool. So I think we're loading up some people here, which is awesome.
Cool.
So let's
20 people already? Wow.
Yeah, something like that. Let's chat about this book a little bit.
Yes, let's.
Thank you so much for doing your review, Robin. It was awesome to watch.
I actually even have like a real copy of the book too, like you guys do.
And we both have signed copies. How cool is that?
It's so cool. Like it's a cool coincidence of our lives that we both met the same author and got autographed.
Yeah, like you know.
So awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
When I saw this book, I thought of you guys too. I thought it would when I met him at BookCon. I was like, this sounds like something Presley would enjoy. And there you go. So, and there's like these other books on the back too, like Fablehaven, Westley, that same
Yeah, we didn't get that one.
Our alley.
We met at the same time we met, and I apologize, I'm not remembering his name. But what was the Magician's Academy?
What is Afterlife?
Sorcerer's Afterlife Academy.
Oh, cool.
The author of that, who is published by the same publishing company. And we got his book too, and we haven't read it yet, but I'm gonna read it next, and that may come up as a book club. We're gonna announce the next book club book here in a little bit.
Yay!
And it's not Afterlife Academy, but we met him too, and we got his book, and it's signed. He seemed like a super nice guy too. He was that guy. I think he was also on the Harry Potter panel, right?
I think so.
Both of the authors, yeah, it was really cool.
Thank you, Bomba Gameplay. For learning some Japanese.
What's that?
Bomba Gameplay.
Oh, awesome.
Yes.
Nice. I'm glad that you're learning Japanese because of Presley. We love making those videos.
They're awesome. I love those songs. That is like my favorite.
No.
That's the next line.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So
beware, Rainbow Unicorn. There will be lots and lots of spoilers.
Lots of spoilers. If you haven't read the book, there's going to be lots of spoilers.
So if you're planning on reading the book, then you should probably come back and watch this later.
But it will still be very good.
Yes,
You'll still love
be good,
even with the spoilers.
Yeah.
I took some notes even on a couple of things.
Yeah, we took notes.
You prepared.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Came prepared.
Yes. So that is a potato. Potato is a inside joke.
Yeah, Presley just loves potato, and so that's why our lower third says potato.
That was when we did the first stream. We were playing around with settings, and then potato happened.
Yeah. It's inexplicable. Why is my?
What is happening?
Did it crash?
Did it? No.
No, there we are.
Popped out. There it is.
That scared me. I thought we fell out of the live of it.
No, we're here. We are here.
Okay, so and this has got like no order whatsoever. This is just kind of a brain dump, but good things to kind of keep me thinking about what we were thinking about, and then you jump in with anything that you want to mention. Presley really loved when she read it. So she read it at Salt Lake City Comic Con, like while we were waiting in line to meet John Barrowman. She was hunkered down reading this book and loving it.
Yeah.
And she kept telling me about the little dragon filling in the chapter art.
It went too fast.
And then, number one, it filled out a lot faster than they were finding pieces. But that was just a really clever and cool little thing that was kind of in the book, right? Do you have that in your copy? What's that?
It doesn't have.
Yeah, I was wondering if you had that because you got kind of an early copy, right? But let me show you.
Oh,
just a random one.
So here at the beginning of every chapter, oh yes, this camera.
That's cool.
And it fills out, you know, as the book goes on.
And that's
the last one.
It's not filling out like at the same rate as they're finding it. It fills out a lot faster because it takes a long time for them to start. So here's an early one.
Yeah. Oh, cool. So did that
They're not filling even.
Or
wait, say that again.
is that like a spoiler for you, or did you already kind of know? I mean,
well, I mean, there's a giant dragon on the cover.
Right there.
Let's look at the
Thought of.
What's weird is this is the very end of the book. On the
Yeah,
cover.
right. So yeah, you kind of know what's coming when you're because of the and because he told us both it's about steampunk dragons.
Yeah, exactly. Too. So
you got a pretty good idea, and it was kind of nice to know when the characters didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true too, because you knew what it was, and yeah, he finds that first little piece, which is very cool.
One of my favorite parts was the giant chicken foot.
Yeah,
because that was at first like they didn't know it was like a claw.
The giant chicken.
I was
foot.
kind of hoping it was going to be a chicken there for a little bit.
There's going to be a giant chicken. This symbolizes
that would have been awfully cool.
Chicken.
Kind of funny. Big
yeah, I like what was it called? Like food production?
Maybe they threw us off with the cover, and it's really going to be a giant steampunk chicken.
And, hold on, I'm trying to find that line because I really liked that line.
That one.
It was like food production better be ready for like giant eggs.
Oh yeah, when they were talking about the giant chicken making giant eggs for the food production.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it said like maybe Babbage's secret plan was to make enough scrambled eggs to feed the entire city. I love that. I was rereading a little bit of it today. That was my favorite line.
Yeah. So, and you know what I really loved about it, I think, and I mentioned this in our review too, was that like it works on different levels. That there is definitely this sort of action story, almost like steampunky sci-fi action story of building this dragon and eventually doing battle with dragons and doing all these cool things. But like it's so much deeper in like the political drama that's taking place. And I got really wrapped up in that. And, you know, like a lot of the questions that I had came out of, you know, I wonder, or one of my big questions, I think, and I'm really curious what you think about this, Ms. Robin, is the Chancellor. Do you think the Chancellor knew the truth?
I think so. I think he's probably, like, you know, the British Prime Minister knows about the wizards, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I think he probably does know. Like, they probably, when you become Chancellor, there's a book you have to go read or something. Those guys always seem to know.
They did say towards the end that it wasn't in the beginning of the book.
Yeah, that like there was this one generation of people that went through the war.
Yeah.
And then they sort of intentionally rebooted their history.
Yeah.
And it would sort of just take that one generation dying out, and then the next generation wouldn't know, right? Because of how secluded everything is, and you've got this book of history that you think is the history, and as long as those first people can not spoil the secret, then suddenly the Chancellor doesn't know what really was happening.
Yeah, but I also think that there needs to be a reason why, like, you wouldn't get a new Chancellor who doesn't want change at all. You know, like maybe there would be the next guy who runs for office and be like, we need to start changing things or something.
But there's just this, I think it's sort of also about the momentum of that, right? That once, like, there's this really great, and I almost mentioned this in our last review, right? This is one of my favorite, like, you know, sociology experiments, right? They had these monkeys that they were doing these experiments on. It's a very famous thing. And they had, you know, like food at the top of the room, and there was a ladder where they could get to the food. And so they, whenever a monkey would start to climb the ladder to get the food, they would hose down all the monkeys in the room with hoses and knock the monkey off the ladder, and everybody would get soaked, and it would be a miserable experience. And so eventually, whenever a monkey tried to climb the ladder, the other monkeys would stop that monkey from climbing the ladder because they didn't want to get hosed, and they were warning him that something bad was going to happen. And so what they started doing was slowly replacing the monkeys one at a time. So a new monkey would come in the room, and he would be like, hey, awesome bananas, I'm going to shoot up the ladder and grab some, and everybody would tackle him. And slowly over time, they replaced all of the monkeys in the room, and they were still stopping each other from climbing the ladder, even though none of them were there when someone got sprayed or when something bad happened for climbing the ladder. Just slowly, this sort of cultural tribal knowledge passed among them, and they wouldn't let anybody climb the ladder. But none of them had any idea why they couldn't climb the ladder. They just knew they weren't supposed to climb the ladder, right? And so this felt a little bit like that to me, where the society had sort of been drilled into it. Invention's bad. You can't have invention. You can't do that. And everybody loses track of why. and people a lot of times don't question those kind of historical precedents, which I think is an interesting.
Yeah.
I thought about that a lot while I was reading this book.
Okay, I want to talk about a psychological experiment that it's gonna be really short, but there was this one experiment like where I don't remember what it was called or too much about it, but like something like they would knock and they would know that something would happen, like food would happen if you knocked. So this one person was really smart, like in kindergarten, and what they did is when it was time for snacks in kindergarten, they would go just like silent, like out of the blue. No one would really know what was going on. And they did that for a couple weeks. And then eventually one week they just went without any call. They just went, and they saw that the people started running towards their lunch boxes to get their snacks. Yeah. I thought that was a cool little
thing. It's like Pavlov, right?
Yeah.
It's sort of a Pavlovian. But yeah, so I don't know. I'm kind of torn on whether I think the chancellor knew, because he was either being like willfully ignorant, like maybe Leo had brought some information to him, or someone in the past had brought some information to him and he learned more about it. But and he was just choosing to not believe what those stories were. I don't know, like most of my interpretations when I read it, like I never got the impression that he really knew the truth of what was going on, certainly outside of the mountain, and that he was like making a conscious decision to hold everybody down and hold everybody back. Like one of the things I mentioned in our review too, like I got one of the things I loved about the writing from J. Scott Savage is that I never got the feeling that anybody felt like they were being a bad guy, right? Like he felt like he was doing the right thing. And I think he felt like he was doing the right thing because he believed what he was saying. I don't think he thought he was lying.
Yeah.
And I think Purity got something like that at one point too. Like he was just doing what his job was.
Yeah, like Angus's dad. Yeah.
He, like at the end when he was like, well, I just, made a big deal because that was my job, and
and even Angus, right? Like Angus had been taught by his dad, so you sort of see this generational thing where Angus he both has his little personal vendetta against Trenton, but he also believes what he's been taught over time. So like there's just a really sort of rich political thing happening in this book. And I think like it's slowly, in the same way that like Leo is slowly leading the kids to those realizations, that he's bringing those things into the book too, and sort of the reader is sort of picking up some of those things as he goes along, which I think is really awesome. Like I really love that part about it.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Congrats. I'm taking a peek at the chat because I haven't checked it a little bit.
Yeah. Also, I was looking at the chat and I noticed that part of YouTube.
Yeah, good for you. That part of YouTube. Yeah. Awesome job.
I have not read The Hunger Games. I have.
It's on our list. Yeah.
I have the first 2 books. I just haven't read them yet.
It's on our list.
They're pretty great too. You'll like them, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, no, Rose, I think you're absolutely right. I think it could apply to the school system. Like we're taught things historically, and the way that we have been taught before. And like it's even when you get a job and you're working in corporate America, like people tend to answer things like, why do we do this? The answer is often, that's the way we've always done it. And that's not a very good answer, but that's an answer that people give a lot. And I thought this book brought a lot of that out in a lot of really cool ways. Like I was really impressed with the way. And then, like I said, working on multiple levels, I think the kids and like Presley reading the book, like she's reading the mystery that the kids are uncovering is building the dragon. And I'm reading the mystery that the kids are uncovering is the corruption in the society, like the lies about the society and stuff. I thought it was really cool the way that he sort of layered that stuff on top of each other.
Converting into a potato.
And yeah, I was just mentioning, like, it's really kind of a timely conversation because Presley and I can talk about it because I think it ties in well to the current election cycle, right? And you talk about somebody like Donald Trump, and does Donald Trump believe what he's saying, or is he saying it for like political expediency and like, playing to the masses and stuff? Like a lot of the things that happened in this book feel kind of relevant to the conversations we're having, and people's fear of the new, I think, ties into the election cycle as well. Like people want to are drawn to conversations that go back to the way we've always done things. And so people who are doing really well in some of the debates and in some of the political rhetoric is about, no, we should go back to the old ways and not embrace the new ways. And that felt like really super timely to me. That may have just been me though. I may have been bringing a lot of baggage to the book. Did you pick any of that up, Ms. Robin?
Yeah, I did. So I definitely think there was a lot of, that whole, that was very realistic. I thought very, definitely happens all the time. People,
Right.
We see things from a certain point of view and perpetuate that. So, it's all about what school's all about, I think, too. You get to like college and they're like, no, this is what really happened with the Native Americans. And you're like, what? It's like,
Yeah, one of like Sir Ken Robinson, Sir Ken Robinson, right? Who's a writer on education. One of my favorite quotes of his is like, never before today has a generation of students been more prepared for the Industrial Revolution. Right? Like we still teach kids in the same way.
Oh, I know.
That, the education system was built to prepare people for the Industrial Revolution and factory line work and that kind of stuff. And we still follow a lot of those same principles in not a great way.
Mm. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, I love that guy. Do you want to talk about this, Pucha?
Hold on, I want to answer some questions before we start.
Okay, roll back to the chat.
Thank you, Paris, for answering a question for me. Yes, thank you, people, for answering that. Yay, live stream. Yay, live streams. English. There's some people from England.
Hey, gamer girl.
Hello, there's some people from England. I haven't read manga yet.
Yeah, she doesn't read much manga yet. Yeah, more anime than manga.
I'm 10.
Yeah. Presley's 10. Okay, we'll do this.
Yes. Okay. So this is a little bit of a like much lighter point than what we were just talking about, but I thought it was kind of like the Lego Movie, as in like in the beginning of the Lego Movie, President Business, I think he's called. I haven't watched the movie in a while, but it was like you have to follow the instructions to everything that's going on, and then at the end of the movie, they're building everything on their own. And I thought
using creativity.
Yeah, creativity. Yeah. But yeah, I thought it was kind of like that.
I thought that was a really apt analogy, actually. I thought that was pretty good.
That is. I didn't think of that one at all.
I totally didn't think of that either, but it fits really well.
Yeah, because they are doing the same thing. And I mean, that is just so sad. Like, you're living in a world where you can't have your own ideas or anything. That just was such a bummer for me.
Yeah, like when Clyde got in trouble for drawing on his chalkboard, right? That was just such a sad moment for me. I felt so terrible that was happening.
Yeah.
Okay, it's gonna take me a little. Our dog is named Clyde,
so
it's gonna take me a bit to use too. That would be so hard for me because I draw so I want to draw. I can't draw.
Oh, you would be in big trouble, Presley. Definitely.
Yeah, there's no doubt.
Inquisitive, and you're exactly the kind of person they don't want in their world.
Yeah. Did you see the like TV show version of Harrison Bergeron by any chance? Like a long time ago. It was Kurt Cameron, I think, was Harrison Bergeron. Are you familiar with the Harrison Bergeron story?
No, not really.
Yeah, so like Vonnegut wrote this. It was kind of like it was a short story at the time, and it was about like a society that wanted everybody to be level, right? And so if you were a really great athlete, you had to wear like these weight belts. And if you were really smart, you had to wear these headphones that played this really like distracting noise into your ears all the time, so you couldn't think clearly. So it sort of was trying to bring everyone down to the same level, right? Really, like, I mean, it's Vonnegut, right? So it's really good, right? But they made this TV show about it, and they added this extra twist that I thought was really cool, where there was like this literati group of people that if you were super smart, they would pull you into this secret club kind of, and you were allowed to be smart, and they kind of ran the society. And when I started reading this book, I kind of felt like that's where things were going to go, that there was a group of creative people that was hidden and secret, and that they kind of helped the society stay in order, and the rulers and stuff like that, and that he was going to end up getting invited to that group and kind of run that thing. Like that's where I totally thought it was going. But as I mentioned in our review too, like I couldn't keep up, and he surprised me many times through the course.
I wonder if there are people that, because you definitely had Leo Babbage. Trenton's dad definitely knows stuff. That lady who ended up was
right.
We have her name in the notes. She
definitely knew a lot more than she was letting on.
Her name was Miss Huber.
Miss Huber.
So maybe they weren't connected, but there were definitely people who knew things and were kind of just walking around with their heads covered and but they definitely knew more about that something
Right.
was not right. And
Yeah, the book.
Leo Babbage, of course.
The story's called Harrison Bergeron, Rose. And the show's really good too. I like it. I mean, like it really changed the story because in the story everybody was just, and then like it's depressing like a lot of Vonnegut stuff, right? But I thought the show was really good. But yeah, one of the things we talked about, we had in our notes here, was this idea of how society sort of acts like things work versus the way that things actually work. Like when the people are doing their day-to-day activities, they behave very differently than what they talk about as sort of the rules of society and things. And so it did seem to me, I agree, that people were a lot more kind of open to creativity in their day-to-day lives. Like Leo seemed to be a very popular figure because he was fixing people's problems and he was doing things, and people seemed to be. Say that again?
Yeah, he was all over the place. You found out he had his own little workshop down in the mines, and people knew him. He was assigned to a certain job. So definitely, like it was like kind of like underground black market.
right.
Stuff going on.
It seemed like your average person was less opposed to creativity.
Yeah.
Than the society would sort of lead you to believe.
Can you get Rebecca out of the chat, please?
Yeah. Hey, Mom. Yeah. Let me see if I can do
that. She's already gotten something that was blacklists.
Okay.
Block. Farewell.
That's funny. You can put a user in timeout. I didn't notice that before. I wonder what that. That's awesome. It's like a Minecraft jail. Yeah, I don't know if it's on Netflix. Fred Rogers. I love that so much. Yeah, I honestly I don't know. It's pretty old. It's like 80s, 90s, or something like that. It's definitely.
I remember it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I'm like I said, I'm pretty sure it's Kurt Cameron plays Harrison Bergeron.
Cool. I have to go check it out and go read that story. It sounds cool.
Yeah, the story. Yeah, definitely read the story first because they are different enough that it's pretty good.
Very cool.
I know. I'll put somebody in timeout here in a little bit and see.
Yeah. We blocked Rebecca, by the way.
Yeah, Rebecca's gone.
Okay.
All right, let's see what else did I have. Yeah, so there was like the whole, obviously, the idea of people as cogs in a machine versus kind of creative beings and doing like that was definitely laid out there, right? And you think about the job placement process. Like we decide what your aptitude is and where we need help and where you go. And there are countries that are very much like that even today, right? And like, does society work better in that kind of a path? Or like overall, or is it better for everyone to kind of decide what they want to do and where they want to go? And like those kind of ideas, I don't know. I thought the book explored some really cool ideas for a kid's book.
More things. I love the channel. Can I do a Miranda? I have a friend that does a really, really good Miranda Sings impression.
Oh, nice. Yeah, we're talking about doing another YouTuber impression, so that may be one too.
Yeah.
All right, we do this one.
Yeah. So throughout the book, Trenton's mom was kind of like protecting him and trying to stop him from getting into these jobs so he wouldn't be inventing and stuff like that. He wouldn't be being creative and creating new things. Like she put him into food production, I think it was called. Yeah,
she went and asked for him to go to food production.
Yes, she went and she asked for him to go into food production. And even at the end of the book, she still did not agree with what he was doing. So that actually ties in really well with the experiment you were talking about. Like if they furthered the experiment and one monkey would like fight back and actually get up there and they weren't sprayed, I wonder if some of the monkeys would still try and stop people from going up.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
How long it would take to break that cycle?
Yeah.
That's a really good question.
But I think part of the reason why she was disagreeing is I think it might have been someone else, but I think it was her that like her legs. I might be referring to a completely different book for all I know, but I think her legs were crushed in the mines or something.
Yeah, that's right.
That's her. Good. Like her legs were crushed in the mines, and I think that could be part of the reason. Like if they kept that sprayed monkey, that monkey might have kept the cycle going for longer. What is my favorite? Thank you for saying my channel is your favorite. I can't choose what my favorite channel is. I've been watching a lot of people recently, and I like them all.
Right. Yeah, I like, even at the end, her mom, or Trenton's mom, almost kind of blamed him for the dragon attack.
Yeah,
right?
I think she did.
Well, she said the technology, she said there are people that think that our technology drew the dragons, right? So she was still like terrified of what he was doing. And she sort of said, I don't agree with you going and on your new adventure, but I love you anyway, kind of thing. So at least you got that out of her. But she was very much like in the old school, don't change things.
Yeah.
I mean, he could have like helped her out. Like she could have braces that he just wore at home or something. You know, it could have had a rig for her, something to help ease her life a little bit, even just at home. And she was like totally opposed to that, like horrified by it even.
Right.
And, you know, I mean, she just like, it was kind of strange. She like ratted out her own kid kind of. And
yeah, totally. Right. Yeah. And then like Simone did it too, right? So, you know, he trusted her and took her to see the dragon. What's the dragon's name?
Ladon, yes.
Ladon. And then she went and turned them in.
Yeah, I had a feeling that was going to happen too. That was just like bad news. Like, why are you showing off for a girl? It's just bad threat. And like, you know, she's going to rat you out, or that other kid's going to catch you guys or something. And yeah, that was. I just knew that was coming.
Yeah, we were actually just talking about this at work a couple days ago, where you know, it feels like, and as large as probably because the people we hang out with, right, the people we choose to associate with and be in our group, is, you know, it feels like the world's kind of changing its attitudes. And like maybe as the older generation moves on and the younger generation grows up, that people will be more open and receptive, and like these things are sort of changing over time, right? But then you also, at the same time, you see, again, Donald Trump way in front of the Republican process, and you see young people at his rallies, and you hear people like speaking and doing these things, and that are young, that sort of go against that kind of idea, right? And so Simone being scared and being, you know, it's not like the kids all want creativity to come in and kind of do these things that even some of the kids are you can see them driving the society forward and becoming the next part of the society and stuff. I thought that was an interesting kind of small, subtle kind of take on how society's not necessarily going to shift and move forward the way you might think that it would, because people are scared.
Yeah, I even thought their language was kind of funny, like the way the kids talk, like in that first chapter when he's building the swing, and they're like, "Is that an approved?" It's so funny coming out of children, but it's that's how
all the second graders were all really scared because of invention.
What was your line that you thought was really great?
What was the line? Like, pardon my language, invention.
Yeah. Somebody said, like, is that and pardon my language, invention?
That like somebody didn't even know, and I don't remember what it was, but it was something to do with like the creative process or something. And I was like, what's that? I never heard of that or something. And it's very strange, but they obviously are all programmed to speak that way and think that way early on. And I just found that really funny. Like they're watching that swing thing that he made, and you know,
can only imagine what the retraining was like.
Yeah.
I thought it was cool that he didn't describe that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't really know too much about it. He was just like knowing that was bad.
Just seeing Clyde when he came back from it and how he reacted, I think was perfect. Like not needing to know what happened. I thought that was a really good call on his part.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I also liked because like Angus was like, that's an invention. All the second graders were like freaking out because he said invention.
Word inventor, and then if you call someone an inventor, they would be like, "Oh, how dare you!"
It was really cool. I did like that one.
Oh
yeah, let's talk about that. We were kind of talking about his dad having some kind of mechanic past and stuff. That was a really cool loop there. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so real quick, I'm going to say my favorite Adventure Time character is probably Marceline, and I like Bubblebean a lot. I haven't watched it in a while, but I'm like, I think Bubblebean has canon now. But anyway, so I thought the really cool loop was towards the end of the book, it said that his dad was actually like wanted to be a mechanic, but was a mechanic. He was in mechanic training, but he was reassigned due to arguing over the coal feeder chute size. And then all the way back to the beginning of the book, the coal feeder chutes were too small for an adult to go in to get the part. So Trenton had to go and get the part, which was like a really cool loop all the way back to the beginning, and to kind of show that he still was like wanted to be creative, and he wanted to change things for the better, but he was reassigned because of that.
Right.
And I thought, and I just thought of this. It was kind of weird that he, well, not weird, but it was almost like cruel to reassign him to the job that he was trying to improve.
Right, and make him deal with the small coal chutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't pick up on that.
Yeah, they mentioned like at the very end when he was learning about his dad being.
Yeah. No, I remember that.
It said the reason he was kicked out of mechanic school was because he argued about chute sizes.
That's pretty funny.
Which I think was really, yeah, it definitely goes way back to that early piece. And it's like, that's how,
together like that.
The idea that was creativity, like it's not even inventing a new thing, it's just changing the dimensions of the coal feeder chutes was too much.
It's crazy.
That's pretty serious.
Yeah.
It's some serious mind control. And
there is no doubt. There is no doubt.
That was also mentioned earlier in the book. Like they just wanted, I don't remember who. It was probably Leo, to be honest, based on the book. But like they just wanted to change like one tiny thing, like the placement of a gear, and that was still considered creativity and terrible.
Well, and even like Trenton's thing in the beginning, the swing, he didn't like, and he argued that too. Like he didn't invent anything. He just put two approved inventions together.
With improved,
and
he
again,
said,
that
like
was
with approved
much.
Screws and
Yeah,
with
right.
approved
every
levers.
piece was approved, but putting them together in that order was not approved. That was too much.
Yeah, so it's hilarious that children are talking about this is an approved device.
When it's this awesome swing that like, yeah.
Like, wouldn't kids like be like, yeah, let me on that first? You know, that's why we have to wait an hour at Disneyland to get on something.
That's how early they started, definitely.
Yeah.
Macy, yeah, I don't know. They're both kind of cool, right? Live streams like this are just chaos to me. Great.
I like doing streams. I might do some streams while flying.
We need a Periscope more, probably.
Yeah, I've kind of forgotten about Periscope.
Yeah, we did it quite a bit when we first got it, and we haven't done it in a while. And it was fun. I liked it. We just haven't really done it. We need to go to the comic book store soon, too. So that's where we used to Periscope.
That's right.
Yeah. Presley's been doing her Down the Rabbit Hole on comic book days. And so now we're probably going to do like a monthly comic book wrap up instead of the weekly.
Cool.
We need to do that because January's over.
Yeah.
Tomorrow. Of course you can, Maggie. Hi there.
Hello. Yes, shout out to Maggie Roberts. I like it's so cool that there's people in the chat like actually here. This might be one of the biggest that we've ever done. One of the biggest ones.
So what I'm really curious to hear your thoughts. What happens next, Robin?
Oh, what do I think happened? Well, I mean, I really hope they're going to go out there and find Leo, because that's my thought. Like that he didn't really die. That maybe the explosion was a cover up or something. Yeah, and he either rigged it or the government rigged it.
Well, they said that he rigged the explosion at the end of the book. I just reread this, kind of getting ready for today. Right? They said that he rigged the explosion, so he was sort of faking his. They never found his body or any other body.
Yeah, they didn't find any bodies.
Right.
And I'm hoping he's out there, and I really want to. I'm a big fan of dragons, so I really want to see some dragon action, and I'm hoping there's I read somewhere, like I was looking last night, trying to figure out if there's going to be a sequel, and the book is listed as like book 1 and some like on Goodreads. So
I think it's supposed to be a series. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be a series.
So I'm hoping he's out there somewhere. Maybe there's other people. There has to be other people out there. I mean, I
wonder if there are societies.
Yeah, so maybe there's different types of societies who've dealt with this differently, or maybe there's Dragon Rider. I kept thinking of
I'm totally hoping for Dragon Rider
a little bit too. Like
I totally couldn't agree more. Like I hope there are Dragon Riders.
Yeah, you know, it made me think of that. And what's that kid's name who goes out and then he's like, no, really, dragons, you can ride them and they're awesome. And then so maybe there's a society like that out there.
Yeah. What's the kid's name in How to Train Your Dragon?
Where's Cooper? He'd know.
Hiccup.
That's right. There you go.
Oh, so Fred Rogers is Jamie Norwood.
Hello.
Hi, Jamie.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah. That's awesome. It's good to see you, Jamie.
Nice. That's pretty funny. Oh, that's tricky.
Yeah. Well, I haven't read the Adam Horowitz. Should we read it? RT Maniacs?
It's called Down the Rabbit Hole. So.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, there's a book called Down the Rabbit Hole by Adam Horowitz.
I remember someone mentioning that that was a mystery book, and they thought that the series was based off of it.
Oh yeah, maybe that's that may be the person that commented on the first video. So we should check that out.
Hello, Millie. Yeah, shout out to Rainbow Unicorn, who is Millie.
Yeah, Macy, check out the other book club books. Obviously, we love those. And then here in a little bit, we'll talk about the next book.
I read them all.
If you want to read the next one, then that may be a good place to kind of jump into. Oh, Jess, Gamer Girl is Jess, and then Millie was Unicorn. Is that what I saw?
Rainbow Unicorn is Millie.
That's a cool name.
Millie.
I like your name, Millie.
Yes. It was the
okay. So RT Maniacs is really good.
Yeah.
Down the rabbit hole. Okay, we'll check it out.
Yeah. Okay. There's one more thing that I wanted to say, and I don't remember what it was. Check the chat. I think it was something in the chat that I wanted to reply to. Down the rabbit hole. Favorite pet. Oh. Yes. It's so the weird thing is they were both the same age, and I think they died of the same cause as well.
Yeah, Rickman and Bowie. You're talking about.
Yes.
Give some reference
I'm
to that.
I'm just like replying to comments from the past. Yeah.
We talk about this a lot. Presley loves to use pronouns without any context for what they refer to.
Next book is about to be announced, by the way.
I was gonna ask you guys something.
Yeah.
Is like a character? I meant to look this up too. Like Leo, is there a name like a famous?
Leo Valdez.
There's Leo Valdez in the.
That's what I meant. Because he's also named Leo, and he also builds.
Oh, you mean are they both named after someone?
That's what I mean. I mean, there's.
I don't know. That's a good question.
But Babbage is named after Babbage was the guy that made the difference machine that inspired Ada Lovelace.
The computer program.
There's a book upstairs that's called Ada and Babbage. So.
Right. So the Babbage makes sense as sort of an inventor and machine. I don't know. That's a really good question, Robin.
I gotta look that up. Maybe in like Roman mythology or Greek mythology, if there's a Leo who is a, some kind of inventor. Because I thought that was an interesting coincidence that these characters are both Leos and they make really cool dragons.
Yeah, no, that's a really good. Maybe there is somebody upstream.
Leo and Bronze Dragon.
Yeah.
Stick together. Do I like Alice in Wonderland? Yes, I like Alice in Wonderland very much.
Love Alice in Wonderland. We have a lot of collections of Alice in Wonderland, different editions, different artwork, different languages. Love Alice in Wonderland.
And I'm actually trying to make him get. I also like that Alice in Wonder. I also like the Alice in Wonderland characters from Ever After High, and I can kind of use Alice in Wonderland. Like these Ever After Highs are from Alice in Wonderland. Can I have them because of that? Oh, kitty though.
Those are I like those ones a lot too. They're very cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Who's wearing shoes and socks in the picture?
Yeah, I'm sort of confused by that.
I don't know what picture.
That question.
But if you're talking about me, I haven't worn shoes and socks. I only wear shoes and socks for cosplay or when it's really, 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 really cold.
Thank you, Gamer Girl. Yeah, Presley hates socks.
I hate socks and shoes.
Kind of a weird thing. All right, let's wrap up the book part and then we can chat and hang out.
Yeah.
Anything else that you wanted to specifically mention, Robin? Anything else?
I think we covered a lot. And like I said, the Leo thing, just for
there's one that was where is Leo? Where do you guys?
I will let you know if I find anything out.
Yeah, no, please. I would love to know that.
Well, I thought the question was different. Like, Leo is, well, yeah, he probably is, but like outside of Cove, where do you think he would be going? Is what I thought that question really meant. And if anyone wants to throw out some answers in the chat or here.
Maybe he's trying to found his own thing. Right?
Yeah.
Maybe he's the leader of a society.
Maybe he's
in the real world.
taming the dragons because I want the friendly dregs.
Yeah, we all want the friendly dregs.
Well, you know what I thought was really cool too? Is that the real name of the society was Discovery, and they covered that up.
Yeah.
Cool. Like they started out like as this forward-thinking people, and then something happened that changed it all. And
what?
Yeah.
I'll give you a guess as to what my first thought was when that happened.
What's that?
V'ger.
What's that?
V'ger from Star Trek, the first movie. So it was Voyager, right? They all had, like, they sort of worshipped V'ger, and then when they finally found it, they wiped the dust off, and it's Voyager. Right? Like, very similar kind of thing, right?
Yeah. I thought that was very clever, though. It was fun wordplay.
Yeah, it was really cool. And, like, the wordplay was, like I said, super clever because of the major difference between those two words.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like this, J. Scott Savage is awfully bright, right?
Yeah. We said this in a review.
This is a really complicated thing to pull off and put together in such an entertaining way. Like this is one of my favorite books of the book club so far. Like as the art of writing, like the two authors that I've gone through. I think I've just finished my 5th book in January. Like I'm just tearing through books, and I read a bunch last year too. And like Rainbow Rowell's Fangirl.
I love that so much. You're being rude.
That was ridiculously good. Like it was so well written. And then this book and the way he's structuring the layers of the story and what's happening and stuff. Like I really loved this book. Like I think people should definitely read this. There's a lot to get out of it, and I think everybody that reads it will probably get a little bit different out of it, which is a sign of a good piece of work. So I love this.
Yeah, no, I really enjoyed it too. And another thing we didn't talk about at all is Callista is another awesome character. I love.
Yes.
I feel like Presley, you're lucky. Like there's all these really cool female characters that are coming out now, and you have a lot of good role models. I think you're.
Like the new Barbies and stuff.
We're building a cosplay, our super secret cosplay, to take to London right now.
Yeah.
And when we finish it, we're gonna build Presley a steampunk Callista cosplay. That's our next cosplay.
Very cool.
Fun cosplay. But the problem, like the biggest problem is I imagined her having what's usually not the problem is what's usually not the problem is the character has shorter hair than I do and it's black. That's the way that I imagined it.
Yeah, because they describe her as like a boy hair, you know, like
yeah. And I'm starting to do some leather work for some of her cosplays, and so I want to build like that leather bracer that she had with the little gears on it that he thought that she was going to shock him with the thing and stuff. So yeah,
she reminds me of Ray a little too, you know, Ray.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I think you're absolutely spot on though that there are a lot of great role models out there.
I'm really excited about that. I think it's just all these girls get to grow up now with really cool characters, and I'm very excited for it.
The Marvel universe is just chock full of diverse female characters right now. It's fantastic.
It's really cool. It's awesome stuff.
All right. Let me check my notes real quick and make sure I haven't missed anything.
And then
the bottom line is this is a great book, and if you haven't read it, you should go read it.
Go read it.
Hey, you want to say something here? Hi guys.
Oh, hi, Mindy. How are you?
Just like I really like your videos, guys. Especially when
so there's tons of stuff to do at Comic-Con.
Yes.
Rainbow, you'll love it. We'll definitely not run out of stuff. If you look at some of our videos on Presley, like I think if you look at Salt Lake City Comic-Con or Salt Lake Comic-Con, we tried over the course of a couple of days while we were vlogging there to talk about the different kinds of things you can do at a con. So that may be a good kind of primer for you to take a look at and see the expo hall and the panels and meeting celebrities and authors and stuff. I think that would give you a really good idea of kind of what happens out there.
Thank you, Macy, and Gamer Girl Life. I think you said your name was Jess, so thank you, you two.
Oh, sweet. Jess is a cool name too. Yeah, so Jess and her family. Okay, cool. Hey, do we want to say what the next book's going to be?
Yeah, we did want to do that. Okay, I've been wanting to do this one for a really long time, so I'm glad I get to finally say, oh, yeah, there's a camera. I was going to go, like, up there.
I know.
But Chupacabra, that's an eyeball, not Chupacabra. There we go. Chupacabra by Roland Smith, I think?
Roland Smith.
Yes.
Yeah. And Presley's read this a couple of times now, at least.
I've read it at least a couple of times. But there's a really strong female character, and her name is Grace, and it's all really, really good. I'll give her... I'm going to read the back because I'll probably start talking too much about Grace and spoiling things.
Okay.
The man with... Oh, wait, no, that's actually a quote from the book. Oh, that's cool. This is like a little excerpt from the book. Or no, it's not even in the book, I don't think. It's just like kind of towards the beginning. Well, okay. I guess I'll have to make my own summary there.
Yeah.
But what I really like with this book, one thing that's not spoilery at all is the first chapter is from the Chupacabra's perspective. Even though you would think, based on the title, the Chupacabra is like the big villain. It's from the Chupacabra's perspective, and I thought that was really cool. As well as the story is really great. So it's about these Marty and Luther are these two kids, and Marty's cousin, who's actually his sister. I think this is a second book.
What?
I don't. They were told they were cousins for a long time. I'm pretty sure. I think I just discovered that that's actually the second book, but it's really good without the first one. But the tentacle get caught up with the cryptid hunters. Maybe it is. Okay, I don't know. But I think they were told that they were cousins for a long time, but they're actually related, like more like siblings, I guess.
Okay.
But Marty and his sibling Grace, they have this like giant squid aquarium that they're not really working at it. They're not old enough to like have a job, but they're at this squid aquarium. And then Grace got before the book, Grace got kidnapped by this other person that like is kind of a rival of the squid aquarium.
Okay.
And they have to go and save Grace from this. It's actually kind of complicated to explain now that I think about it. But they have to go and save Grace, and Grace is really smart. There's chapters from everyone's perspective, except I think there are even a couple chapters from the villain's perspective, but I'm not entirely sure.
This sounds really complicated.
It's not really complicated. I'm bad at explaining things.
I haven't read this one yet.
Yeah. But yeah, there's chapters from lots of people's perspectives. Like Marty and Luther are the main characters, and there's chapters from their perspective as well as Grace's perspective. It makes a lot more sense if you read it.
Yeah.
But
I'm about to.
It's really, really good, and the characters are really great and highly in depth. And
I just finished reading book 2 of the Red Rising series, which was excellent. The Red Rising books are really good. And I also, in between those 2 books, I read Between the World and Me, which is a really excellent essay that's worth reading.
Oh, just heard about that too. Yeah.
It's really good. And it's short. It's a pretty quick read. I listened to the audiobook of it. Actually, the author reads the audiobook, which I always love.
Like Felicia's was
he
that.
wrote it as a letter to his son. It's nice to hear it in his voice and stuff. And it took me 2 days of just listening here and there to finish the audiobook, and I really loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Presley wants to tell the whole story. Somebody's in there talking about Presley's summary.
Yeah. This is
it's hard to pick the little pieces.
Yeah.
Little pieces that are worth explaining, but yeah, summaries were. When I was trying to do a Lego movie summary, I said I was describing one of the characters, and I said the end of the movie, and I'm like, yeah, I want to tell the whole story. I'm like, whoops.
Yeah, and so when this video posts on YouTube, and you can post comments, like I don't think the chat stuff goes in the comments. I don't know, it may, but I don't think it does. When the comments pop up, if you guys have suggestions for books to read that may make future book club books or whatever, then please post them. Like we definitely want to see it. All right, let me see. King's Guide to Saving Your Kingdom. Okay, is that good, Macy? Oh wait, Hero's Guide to Saving Your Kingdom.
Okay. Hero's Guide. Okay. By the way, if any of you want book suggestions, I have a lot that aren't on book club yet. But
yeah, we should probably somewhere post like a reading list.
Yes. Okay, if you guys haven't been in the book club since the very first month, still read Familiars. Read it now. Read it. The 4th book is my absolute favorite book of all time. Cinder. I got Cinder for Bookmas.
Yeah,
I love Cinder.
Cinder.
Cinder was really good, and I want the next book like right now.
That may make it on the list.
I love that series. I gave her the last 2 books in it for Christmas, so.
Oh really?
She wants me to do those too.
I want the next book of Cinder.
Yeah, Presley got Cinder for Bookmas. And I think she's already read almost all of her Bookmas books.
There's 2 that I keep putting off by accident.
Nice.
I need to read those.
So that's 12 books since Christmas.
Yeah.
I've been caught up listening to the Harry Potters on Audible, so that's just been my total.
Man, I love Audible. Boy, I love Audible.
Me too. And now that Harry Potter's available, that was like a month of my life, but it was so good.
And now I listen at 1.5 speed now.
Yeah. I do that sometimes.
The folks on the BookTube panel at VidCon said that that's what they do to kind of get through it, and I'm totally used to it now. It doesn't bother me at all.
We were in the car, and you were listening to Felicia Day's book, and it was like,
it's not like that. It's not like that at all.
I have a physics book.
I was getting paper to write down the books.
Tyson book. I'm having trouble getting through. I should speed it up.
Yeah. Sometimes you got to switch and come back.
Right. So, I got to try speeding it up.
Sometimes like life's too short to read bad books.
Yeah.
A book, but it's just a lot of heavy stuff, like universe stuff.
Yeah, I remember the first time I read Foucault's Pendulum by Umberto Eco.
Okay.
It's like drinking too thick a milkshake through too small a straw, right? That book was hard to read. And I loved it, but it was so much read every page 5 times. And
that's the worst.
Yeah, I mean, it was hard. But yeah, that's that. I'm not going to read that one again anytime soon. And some of Neil Stephenson's like Cryptonomicon stuff when he got into the later books, like Snow Crash and Diamond Age are some of my favorite books ever written. But when he got into Cryptonomicon stuff, he lost me a little bit. And then the Baroque cycle, I was way out. I wasn't interested in that at all.
I just always have to finish books. I hate not finishing them. Like, I hate giving up on books. It's rare when I do.
Yeah, it was the Red Rising, the book I just finished reading. A friend of mine recommended them to me, and the first book started out kind of rough, and I'm not sure I would have stuck with it if it hadn't been a recommendation from somebody, and then it turned around, and I ended up loving them. Right?
Yeah, I always like holding out for that moment where they turn around. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't.
Yeah, it certainly happens, right? And this one, I was fooled by this one because I thought I wasn't going to like it, but because this guy was recommending it, I wanted to stick it out. And then as soon as I finished the first book, I got the second one and plowed through that. And then it's a trilogy, I think, and the third one is supposed to come out like in 2 weeks. It's perfect timing.
Cool. But the thing that's kind of like you is I do this really weird thing when I'm at the library. I'll just grab books that sound interesting, but I'll still look at this book and be like, I probably won't read this one by the end of the week, but I'm still going to get it. And then I'm like, okay, so I read all the other books. Except for this one book that I'm putting off. And so I might as well read Chupacabra. And I'm like, I need another book. I need another book right now.
Did you read Patrick Rothfuss's King Killer stuff?
No, I haven't. I have that on my list, I think. You recommended it to me.
Yeah, have you read the Game of Thrones stuff?
Yeah, Game of Thrones, of course.
Did you like that?
So good.
Yeah, so you would like Rothfuss. Like that's it. It has become the series that people say while you're waiting on the next Game of Thrones.
Okay.
Go read King Killer. It's
and now
really
you're waiting for a Game of Thrones.
Yeah, and now King Killer. And now he's doing the same thing. It's been like 70 years.
That's how the Outlander series is for me too. They're just these massive epic books, and she takes like 4 years to write one. She's up there with George.
Yeah, the George's announcement the other day that it's not going to happen.
I didn't expect it.
Do you watch the show?
Yeah.
So are you going to watch the show before?
I mean, I'll watch it. I'm sure it's still going to be different no matter what. You know, it's never the same. So I'll watch it.
Yeah, I will too.
Thank you, Paris and Sharon.
I would have said no probably like a year ago, but I'm he's lost me sort of at this point. It's too much. And I love the show. I think the show's great.
Yeah, it's great on its own.
Yeah. I hate to see it spoiled, but there we go.
Just some movie trailer I saw that had a bunch of, or something I was reading about that had a bunch of people from Game of Thrones in it. And it's something I want to see, and I can't remember what it is now.
Oh, it is 9. Yeah, it's almost 2 here, Rainbow. I forgot it's 9 over in the UK. I love that we have people that watch us from the UK.
I know, amazing.
And like all over the world, like different places.
Awesome.
It's so cool to see that stuff. That's one of my favorite things.
Bubble World sounds really familiar. Did I read Bubble World?
I don't think so.
I don't think I have, but it sounds really familiar. I'm adding that. I'm writing a list of books that I should read.
She's keeping a list.
Aragon too, which I liked the first books in Aragon, and then it kind of like I didn't like where it went after, like maybe the fourth book, or the third book, and I think the fourth book saved it. But
right.
That was hard to get through a series. It was
the middle of that one lagged a little bit for me too.
Tanked for me, but I really love dragons so much, so that's what kept me going on that too, because I thought that the dragons in it were awesome.
Right.
I haven't read it. I don't know. I just agree. Dragons are awesome. I just agree that if there are dragons, they're probably awesome.
Probably going to be good.
I was so disappointed with that series. I didn't keep the books. That's
really wow.
I got rid of them. Like when I was cleaning out stuff. That's rare for me to get rid of.
That's definitely a big deal.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah,
you just read the second Hollow Earth book. Did you like it?
Yeah, I really like that one. It's like Hollow Earth and Familiars both do it really well. It's like in the book, it'll be like, so this is just kind of continuing the story from last time, even though that was kind of wrapped up. And then like towards the middle of the book, this giant mystery will be revealed, and you're like, oh, okay. So it's like, okay, so that happened. Sometimes it's like the beginning of the book will be continuing like exactly where the other one left off. And then there'll either be like a time skip or just something huge will be revealed, and then you'll be like, oh, so I thought this was just going to be a continuation, but nope, this is so much better. No.
Awesome.
I can't choose between dogs or cats, gamer girl.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's another one, Delirium.
Yes, that's
You got that one?
Yeah, Delirium's up the top.
Oh, okay.
Wait, what was it? I was writing it and then I got distracted.
Isle of
Lost. Isle of Lost.
Yeah, I like dogs. Presley can't pick, but I like dogs.
I like animales. I like animales.
Awesome. Okay, we're at our hour, which is about what one of these things lasts.
Yeah.
without going off the rails too much. So I think we're going to start wrapping up here. We're going to write down all the book recommendations out of the chat. So thank you guys so much for taking your time to put those things in there. We'll take a look and see what the next thing is. We'll post here and social media all over the place, however you can get Chupacabra. If you want to read that, I'm going to start that probably tonight because I just finished my books. This was really good. I had a good time. Thank you so much for joining us, Robin.
Thanks for having me. This is fun. I love your book picks every month. They're awesome.
Always fun to talk to you because I know you've read the book and thought about it.
Yeah. It sounds really great.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much. Thanks everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. We're behind. We haven't shot our Science Sunday video for today yet, so we got to go make Science Sunday happen.
Yes.
It's going to be a cool one, I think. We'll see what happens. Craft Monday tomorrow is going to be awesome. You get to see how we made that cool pirate hat. That was in Instagram the other day. So there's a lot of cool stuff coming up. Hopefully we'll do the last Japanese video on Friday too for the people that are watching the Japanese stuff. You'll see the end of the song on Friday.
Relax.
Yeah.
But I think we're gonna be all days at Comic-Con. Nelly, I think it was Scream Unicorn.
Yeah, we're definitely going to be at London Comic-Con on Saturday.
Yes.
We're not sure about the others yet. We have a couple of, like I said, there's still some stuff we're kind of working on. Like we may get to do some cool stuff with BBC while we're over there and some other things. And that may happen on Friday, and then we wouldn't be able to go to the con, but we may go to the con and do some of the stuff. So definitely Saturday. If you're going to pick one day to go to the con when you want to run into us, Saturday will be the day.
Yes.
Cool. Thanks for asking, though.
Yes, thank you.
Oh, we definitely want to run into some people because we loved in Japan when we ran into some subscribers out there and hung out with them. It was one of the coolest things that happened. We loved it. So yeah, we definitely would love to meet you guys if you're out there.
Yes.
Cool, Macy. There's a cool Science Sunday today, I think. If we can pull it off, it's more in our heads right now than anything else. We'll have to wait and
There's
see what
someone
happens.
putting timeout.
What? Oh.
Someone to put in timeout. Put them in timeout at the very end.
All right, we'll time out the last person, but that timeout will turn into a ban.
Why was that
we're
blocked?
about to leave.
Gamer Girl got blocked by saying Vine don't be rude. Put user in timeout.
Where's it? Oh, right there.
Yeah, I don't want to know it.
Timeout.
And cannot post live chat for 5 minutes.
Yeah, and we'll be gone in 5 minutes. Awesome. All right, thanks everybody, and thank you, Robin, again.
Guys, thanks.
Talk to you real soon. Bye, guys. We'll be in the chat for a couple of minutes while we're writing the stuff down. If you got anything else to say.
Yes.
All right.
Bye.
How do I turn this off?
Yeah, now we can end it. Just click hang up.
Let's just leave call though.
Have we turned it off?
Okay, so that's